Good morning, everybody. Pretty nice day out here. We're gonna have some sun here in a minute. It's in the high 20s, so it's not bad. So let's take you through the next steps. I've showed you how to build a bobber. I've showed you how I rig the perfect bobber. Now I'm gonna show you how I fish the bobber. So I also showed you here this morning how to mark your rod, with depth marks. Starting up here with 1 foot, 2 foot, 3 foot, 4 foot, 5 foot, 6 foot, 7, 8, and 9. So with the bobber, you're going to be able to fish certain depths pretty consistently, but you need to know how deep to fish. I like to fish with my gear right up off the bottom, anywhere from 6 to 20 inches. And so how do you know how deep to set the bobber? Well, let's walk you through how I check for depths. So obviously you got your inline sinker and then my bobber knot here. So you're going to slide your bobber knot up and deepen your gear down until you start dragging the bottom. So let's do that. I'm going to wet my bobber knot so it doesn't chafe my line. Then I'm going to slide it up. And I'm going to start fishing, let's say at, let's try 7 feet here. So you reel your bobber knot up to right to the edge of your pole. And then you pull your inline sinker down and you'll check your depth. So I know this is 6 feet right here, so I'm, I don't know if you can see it. This green mark right here is 6 feet. 7 feet's right below it. So I'm not quite there. I'm at about 6 feet 9 inches to my sinker. So I'm gonna deepen it up just a little bit to where I'm at that 7 foot mark. Slide that up a little bit. That should be 7 feet. Now I'll cast it in and we'll check and see if it's going to drag the bottom or not. Okay, my bobber's going to come floating by here and you can see how it's tipping down river, kind of bouncy motion. So 7 feet is too deep here. Let's go about 6 inches up. Still tapping a little bit. See how it's leaning down river. So what we're going to do is we're going to shorten it up another 6 inches. Still leaning down river, or it's still too deep. So I just shortened it up another 6 inches. We'll give it a cast and see what we got. Okay, there comes our bobber. See how it's straight up and down? It's not leaning, it's not bouncing at all. Okay, so I've got it. I know the depth now, so I'm gonna check it. I'm gonna set it here against my rod. I'm gonna count my marks down. So there's 4, 5. So it looks like the bottom right here is about 5.5 feet. So I know what I'm gonna fish now. I'll show you on my other rod that has my gear on it how I'll set my depth. Okay, so I've got this pole set up with the perfect bobber setup. I'm fishing a double bead and I want my hook to be about 6 inches above the bottom. The beauty of fishing the double bead is if there's some inconsistency in your bottom, you're still fishing depths. So if I put that bead at 6 inches above the bottom, I'll fish any bottom liars, but then up here another 14 inches is another hook. So I'm fishing that much in the water column down towards the bottom. So let's check and see how deep this pole is set. So I'm gonna reel my bobber knot up to the end of my pole. There we go. And I'm gonna check it. So my blue mark's 5, my green mark's 6. So I'm about 6 foot 5 inches. So I need to shorten it up. I need to shorten it up a whole foot. Because remember, we're 5.5 feet deep and I want my hook to be 6 inches above the bottom. So I'm gonna wet my knot. I'm gonna slide it down. I needed to go 1 foot and 5 inches. Okay, that's pretty close. Let's recheck it and measure it. Okay, I'm gonna reel my bobber knot up to the end of my pole. Okay, it's right at my last eyelet. Now let's check our hook. There's 4 feet. I went too much. I gotta lengthen it out. I'm about 4 feet 9 inches. Okay, I'm gonna lengthen that out 3 inches. There we go. That should put us right at 5. Let's double check. Reel my bobber knot up to the end of my rod. Check my terminal hook. I'm right at 5 inches. So I'm ready to fish. I'll be fishing 6 inches up from the bottom, all the way up to about 14, 16 inches. Okay, you can see that bobber coming down, standing straight up, drifting just perfectly along. This water's a little fast for what I like for bobbers, but anyway, it shows you the principle. Okay, so there you have it. That's how I rig my bobbers. I've showed you the whole system, from the terminal gear to the last hook, all the way to the reel. How to double bead, how to snell them, showed you how to build bobbers, how to put tape on your rod to show your depths, and how I set my depths. So now I guess the next thing is to show you a steelhead. So let's get to it and see if I can find one. Anyway, you know the drill. Thanks for watching, appreciate it. Like if you do and subscribe if you haven't. If you want future notifications for fish on or whatever, make sure you subscribe. Anyway, thanks. Hope you're having a great day and tight lines.